Gavin Stacey is a British institution, but it's a show defined by a very strange irony. It's named after a couple who, let's be honest, are often the blandest people on screen, serving as the normal anchors while the supporting cast runs away with every scene. And then there's the elephant in the room, the polarising legacy of its co-creator James Corden. Whether you love the genius of the writing or struggle to separate the art from the diva headlines, there's no denying the show's grip on our culture. Today we're looking at what viewers and critics loved or hated about Gavin and Stacey. Gavin and Stacey, created by James Corden and Ruth Jones, debuted in 2007 and quickly became a cultural phenomenon, celebrated for its charm, humour and authentic portrayal of a long-distance relationship between a young man from England and a Welsh woman, and the merging of their distinct families. The show's enduring popularity is evidenced by its record-breaking Christmas specials, with the 2019 and 2024 finales attracting 18.49 and 20.9 million viewers respectively, making them amongst the most watched scripted shows in UK history. Despite its widespread success and critical acclaim, including multiple BAFTAs, Gavin and Stacey consistently elicits strong, often contradictory opinions among its audience, leading to a fascinating dichotomy in its reception. The ensemble cast of Gavin and Stacey is frequently cited as its major strength, with characters described as meticulously crafted and distinct and multi-layered. However, some people find the titular couple a bit bland or even annoying. Gavin and Stacey are designed as the statesmen or ciphers for the audience, representing ordinary, likeable individuals with relatable flaws and fears. Their relationship forms the emotional core of the story, focusing on the universal experiences of love, engagement and marriage. While praised for their relatability, many viewers find Gavin and Stacey themselves to be generally dull, boring or non-events. Stacey in particular is criticised as childish and unreasonable, needy and controlling and immature. Once their core romantic conflict, the long-distance relationship and merging families, is resolved by marriage, their storyline becomes less dynamic. As one Redditor notes, Gavin and Stacey's story was complete after series 1. This leads to a perception of dullness or boring characters, creating a divide between viewers who appreciate their stable, anchoring presence and those who find their lack of ongoing conflict or quirkiness unengaging, especially as the show progresses and other characters' arcs become more prominent. Nessa and Smithy, the best friends of the titular couple, are widely considered the show's scene stealers. Their on-off relationship provides comic relief and emotional punches, and their iconic status is reinforced by quotable lines and memorable antics. Their chemistry is often cited as making the show timeless. Despite their popularity, aspects of their characterisation or the portrayal of their relationship are divisive. Smithy, whilst often funny, is described as smug, annoying and a bit of a knob. Ruth Jones' portrayal of Nessa is largely acclaimed, but her enigmatic and often blunt personality can also be divisive. Some love her dry wit and unpredictable nature, while others might find her repetitive or even a caricature at times. The wider supporting cast, including Pam, Mick, Bryn, Gwen, Pete, Dawn and Doris, are consistently praised for their distinctiveness, relatability and comedic contributions. The show is noted for ensuring every character gets their chance to shine, preventing it from centering solely on one or two individuals. Characters like Pam are seen as bombastic forces of nature, Bryn as quirky yet relatable, and Doris as a sex-mad granny providing unexpected humour. While generally well received, the show's reliance on archetypes and character for its ensemble can be seen as a point of contention. The humour derived from regional stereotypes, though often presented as ironic regionalism, can be perceived as simplistic or reinforcing problematic views by some critics. The deliberate naming of families after serial killers, Shipmans, Wests, Sutcliffe's is a dark humour element that, while perhaps intended as a subtle edgy joke, could be divisive for viewers sensitive to such references. The long-running gag about Uncle Bryn and Jason's mysterious fishing trip has been a source of both amusement and frustration. Many find the unresolved mystery a comedic triumph, adding to the show's charm, while others crave a definitive answer and feel it's an unsatisfying loose end. The show's comedic style and narrative decisions are central to its appeal, but also a significant source of division, particularly concerning its apolitical claims and handling of sensitive topics. Gavin Stacey is widely praised for its cosy and warm tone, offering a comfort meal experience. Its humour often arises from ordinary people with ordinary problems and believable banter. The show's ability to capture the family dynamics and relatable real-life experiences like arguments, family secrets and chaotic dining table conversations is highly valued. It is described as comedy gold at its purest and effortless British humour. This comfort appeal can lead to a perception of the show as unchallenging and apolitical for some. This is precisely its strength, a light-hearted escape that offers a pleasant viewing experience. For others, particularly critics, this perceived apolitical stance becomes problematic when the show implicitly or explicitly engages with social issues without acknowledging them. Critics argue that the show's claim to transcend politics, presenting its narratives as the norm, implicitly endorses a white, heterosexual homogeny. Specific criticisms include the cast is entirely white, which critics argue is unrepresentative of the diverse British working class the show purports to depict. The character of Jason, identified as the only queer figure, is criticised for being reduced to his sexuality and primarily serving to create comic awkwardness. Nessa's rendition of Fairy Tale of New York includes the homophobic slur "f***it." While Ruth Jones defended it as remaining true to the characters, critics argue there is nothing in Nessa's characters to inherently suggest she would use such language. For some, the show is harmless, relatable entertainment. For others, it's a subtle but significant reinforcement of existing social norms and biases, and its popularity becomes problematic because it normalises a narrow vision of British society while dismissing critics as inserting politics. In 2008, The Guardian's Gareth McLean provided one of the most cited negative reviews. He described the show as predictable, old-fashioned and wearing. It feels like a first draft with no polish or aplomb to it, and now to top it all, it's overrated too. This demonstrates how out of touch critics were with public opinion. In 2008, Gavin Stacey won the BAFTA Audience Award and the British Comedy Awards Best TV Comedy Award. While named after Gavin and Stacey, the show was initially centred on Gavin and Stacey's relationship, their jobs, relocation and family life. Their central conflict, getting together, getting married, living together, largely resolved by the end of season 1. However, particularly from late season 3 onwards, the show increasingly became the Smithy and Nessa show, with their tumultuous on-off relationship and journey to parenthood taking over. Jones and Corden consciously doubled down on these supporting characters, recognising them as a big draw. This is a common challenge for sitcoms that resolve their core premise. The shift is divisive because it alters the show's identity. Viewers who were primarily invested in the original premise might feel alienated, while those who found the supporting characters more dynamic welcome the change. This illustrates the difficulty in evolving a sitcom beyond its original hook without alienating a segment of its audience. The Christmas specials, particularly the 2019 and 2024 finales, were highly anticipated, breaking viewing records and becoming major cultural events. The 2019 special ended on a cliffhanger with Nessa proposing to Smithy, building immense anticipation for the 2024 finale. That finale aimed to conclude long-standing storylines, including Nessa and Smithy's wedding. Despite the massive viewership, the 2024 finale still received divided opinions. Many fans were happy with the way the finale ended, calling it the most perfect way to end and expressing joy over Nessie and Smithy's eventual wedding. The unexpected romance between Gwen and Dave Coaches also surprised and delighted some. He's the man who has apparently bedded his way across every square inch of land their side of Offa's Dyke. Then Nessa's simultaneously smoking and vaping was a humorous highlight for many. Conversely, other fans were disappointed, describing the finale as proper average, crap and having an out-dragged obvious ending. No single ending can satisfy everyone, especially when dealing with a show that has become a cultural touchstone for over 17 years. The division in reception for the finale is a direct consequence of the immense varied expectations built up over time, demonstrating that even a widely watched and generally loved show will struggle to achieve universal acclaim for its ultimate narrative choices. Gavin and Stacey gained significant recognition for its portrayal of Anglo-Welsh cultural dynamics, a feature that is both celebrated for its unifying humour and scrutinised for its use of stereotypes. Humour frequently arises from the half-language barrier with local dialect, slang and accents, as well as the clash of two different families and cultures. This dynamic is praised for short-cutting regional differences and bringing both nations' audiences together. The show's humour pokes fun at real British culture through equally stereotypical characters. Examples include Pam's misunderstanding of Welsh words or Gavin's inability to get Welsh inside jokes. The show even features a moment where Stacey accuses Nessa of racism for being disgraced at Smithy's Englishness, which she corrects to xenophobic. The first, most obvious and public evidence of what prompted the animosity towards Corden was his comment after receiving the show's second BAFTA award. He berated the judges for not giving the show a third, something the critics immediately took hold of. This was followed in 2010 when Corden had a somewhat awkward on-stage exchange with Sir Patrick Stewart at the Glamour Awards, where Stewart subtly called out Corden's perceived disengagement. In a 2012 interview for The New Statesman, Corden admitted that he had always been an attention seeker. He garnered attention, but much of it was negative. Corden's public persona led some viewers to struggle in separating the actor from the character, impacting their perception of Smithy. While his success with Gavin and Stacey was widely lauded in the UK, the shift in public perception appears to have gained momentum during his tenure as host of The Late Late Show in the US from 2015. His persona shifted from the cheeky chappy, often seen in the UK, to a more effusive, seemingly wholesome and goofy American talk show host. This change baffled some British audiences and contributed to a sense that he had perhaps become inauthentic or overly eager to please the American market. It wasn't just perceived behaviour, but apparently outright abuse in public. Restaurant owner Keith McNally publicly banned Corden from his New York City eatery, Balthazar, alleging that Corden had been the most abusive customer to his staff on multiple occasions. After the Balthazar incident, in an interview where the New York Times claimed Corden said that the debate about him was not worth acknowledging, Corden claimed he hadn't done anything wrong on any level. However, later on his show, he expressed regret and Keith McNally accepted an apology from Corden. Corden has also been quoted as saying he doesn't understand why he upsets so many people, as he's just being himself. While public opinion has been quite polarised, Corden's career trajectory suggests that the controversies haven't entirely halted his professional opportunities. He's certainly not out of work and continues to pursue high-profile projects across different mediums. Gavin and Stacey stands as a testament to the complex and often contradictory nature of popular culture reception. Its widespread adoration stems from its cosy atmosphere, relatable family dynamics and the iconic performances of its ensemble cast, particularly Nessa and Smithy, who became the emotional and comedic anchors of the series. While the show presents itself as harmless fun, many find the titular leads dull and are frustrated by the narrative's pivot away from them, not to mention that never-ending fishing trip mystery. Critics have also dismantled the idea that the show is apolitical by highlighting the lack of diversity, the use of homophobic language. They suggest the show isn't neutral at all, but rather reinforces a narrow, outdated version of society. The highly anticipated Christmas specials, while achieving record viewership, ultimately underscored these divisions, satisfying some with narrative closure, while disappointing others with predictable plots or contentious new developments. Gavin and Stacey is a cultural touchstone that inspires both affection and debate. Its divisive qualities are part of its comedic style, mirroring audience sensibilities and prompting ongoing discussion about entertainment and social issues. The show's legacy blends lasting popularity with critical dialogue. Whether you're on team give us the fishing trip secret or you think some things are better left to the imagination, there's no denying the Shipmans and the Wests have earned their place in the TV Hall of Fame. The finale might have given us the closure we craved, but the debate over its legacy is only just beginning. I want to know your cracking takes. Did the ending land for you, or are you still fuming about Sonia? Drop your thoughts below. Hit a like if you're a Mick fan, and I'll see you in the next one. Tidy.